Well, here we are again with another vlog. So, as y'all know, I loves me the full moon. I love photographing this freaking thing, and I got it all over my gallery. A lot of my favorite shots are from moments when I was able to experience the full moon aligned with something beautiful and magical here on planet Earth. This is something that I love, and every time a full moon comes around, I use this as an opportunity to do some photography that ignites my spirit. And right now is no different. So there is a full moon about. Actually, it was technically yesterday was the full moon, so we're just a little bit past it. But a lot of times that can work in your favor, especially if you live in a place like I do, where there is a gigantic mountain range to the west, and you want to photograph the moon setting next to that mountain range right at sunrise. Well, a lot of times on the day of the full moon, the moon will actually go behind the mountain range before the sun comes up, before there's any light on the peaks whatsoever, so it's just pure black outside. Now, the timing does change month to month, year to year, and moon to moon, so in this particular case, it turns out that the best time to photograph the quote-unquote full moon as it aligns with the mountains here in the Eastern Sierra is tomorrow morning, actually 2 days after the full moon. But in this particular case, the timing works out the best in order to line up with the mountains right at the moment of sunrise. Now, it's not enough just to say, hey, I want to photograph the moon as it aligns with the mountains at sunrise. No, the more specific you can get, the more you can dive into a detailed idea of your vision of a moon photo, the better off you're going to be. So in this particular case, what I would like to see is the moon setting right over the tip of Lone Pine Peak. I want to see the center of the moon aligned with the tip of Lone Pine Peak right at sunrise, kind of like this. As soon as you have a vision like this, you can actually start getting to planning. And when it comes to moon planning, even though it can be a little technical, it can be a little mathy, a little complicated, the fundamental idea is very simple. You just need to know for the moment that you have picked, in this case, sunrise, where is the moon gonna be in the sky? How far is it gonna be around the compass from north? And how high up in the sky is it gonna be? And you can get that information from an app like PhotoPills. That's the one that I use. And once you have that, then all you have to do is get yourself into a position where you and your subject are in the same line, in the same trajectory as the moon is. And so if you know how tall your subject is, you can figure out exactly how far away from it you need to stand in order to get at the same angle. And you can also just figure out what angle on the compass you need to stand at so that it aligns with the azimuth of the moon. So that's how I do my moon planning. And doing this process has helped me figure out that tomorrow morning, what I need to do is go to these GPS coordinates, and then right at sunrise at 5:46 or 5:47 a.m., I am going to see the center of the moon aligned with the top of Lone Pine Peak. Now, that's all in a very theoretical world. All I can do is do the plan and show up, but Mother Nature also has to work with me, and I'm not sure that's gonna happen right now. There is, after a couple of days of beautiful, warm, lovely weather, there is a ferocious storm, a brewing right now. It's absolutely howling winds outside, 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. Trucks are blowing over down the highway. There are thick clouds blanketing the mountains all over. Who knows how long it's gonna last? Who knows if it's gonna clear up in the morning? Who knows if I'm even gonna be able to shoot, because if you're in 50 mile an hour winds trying to photograph the moon, good freaking luck, son. But anyway, all I can do is my best, show up. Hopefully Mother Nature is gonna meet me halfway. So let me show you what I'm bringing for this shoot. Then I'm gonna go home, get some sleep, and cross my fingers for some nice clear skies in the morning. Here's what I'm bringing for this particular shoot. I'm bringing 2 cameras. I'm bringing 2 lenses. One is my super long 180 to 600. I've also got my 24 to 200 so that I can shoot a couple of different focal lengths. I'm bringing 2 tripods for those 2 cameras and lenses, and of course my remote shutter release. So that's the entire geared loadout that I've got. Try to keep it simple, try to keep it smooth. Once you actually get on location with the moon, it is always plan, panic. The moon always moves faster than you think, and at the last minute, you always have to make some final little adjustments. So try to minimize the amount of gear shuffling as much as possible. Anyway, let's go ahead and cue the wake-up call for tomorrow morning.
It is 4:59 a.m. and I have really lucked out because overnight it's calmed down. It's absolutely dead still out here and the sky is almost 100% clear. There's just a tiny little bit of cloud up over here right underneath the moon, but where I'm gonna go photograph, it is dead clear. It's a little cool though. Let's jump in the truck and make tracks. Oh, here we are. This is the spot, this random place on this dirt road on the east side of Owens Valley. This is my shooting location for this morning. It's absolutely stunning out here right now. Crystal clear skies, I can see. Beautiful alpenglow already hitting the peaks. The moon is so big and bright. Lone Pine Peak standing proud, along with some of the biggest mountains here in the Sierra range. I can see Langley, Lone Pine Peak, Mount Whitney, the tallest peak here in the contiguous U.S., Mount Williamson, the 6th tallest peak here in the contiguous U.S., as well as some other really big ones. It's a beautiful view, but the moon set, the sunrise waits for no man, so let me get set up, let me get my camera out here, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Well, it's just a touch breezy out here this morning, so I'm setting up in the shelter of the back of my truck here. Okay, now you may be wondering, why am I hanging the camera off the side of my tripod like this? Well, because it gives it a lot more stability than having it dangle up here on top on a loose ball head. You can drop it into the portrait notch and it sits here super duper stably like that. Let's go ahead and get cruising here because that sunrise is coming super quickly. And that moon, it's gonna be in place so soon. And in addition to just the actual moment of the moon touching Lone Pine Peak at sunrise, I also think I'm gonna see a really beautiful belt of Venus this morning because it is so clear. So I really wanna get that because that's such a lovely moment when the moon is floating slightly above the landscape and you have all these spectacular pastel, rose, blue, purple colors flooding the sky like that. Let's get cruising because this is moving quickly. Those bloody transmission towers, man, are you kidding me? Barring an otherwise perfect landscape. Oh, I think what would be really cool this morning is to do a panorama. The tricky part is always the exposure when you're photographing the moon because it is so much brighter than everything else in the landscape. For example, right now the moon is beautifully exposed at a 50th of a second f8, actually a 40th of a second f8, ISO 64. It's fantastic for the moon, but the rest of the landscape is almost completely black at this point. So that means a big bracketing burst. Now, of course, the landscape itself will get brighter as the sun raises, and the moon will stay the same brightness. So as long as I can cap the top of my exposure with that, I can bracket anything above that, and I know the moon's never gonna get any darker, but the rest of the landscape will get brighter. So eventually that dynamic range of the landscape and the moon will compress to a point where I can get it in a single shot. But a lot of times I like to bracket anyway, just for a little bit of better image quality. And I'll combine those later doing some sort of like a HDR pano type of thing. So I've got one shot for the moon at a 40th of a second f8 ISO 64. Let's go ahead and set bracketing up for another, I'll just do another shot 2 stops above that. We'll check out what that looks like. Okay, so that's a 10th of a second. And how does the histogram look? Still pretty damn dark. All right, I think I might do 3 brackets in that case. So let's go ahead and do +3 on those, 2 stops apart. So now I should have a 40th, a 10th, and 0.4 seconds. There we go. Oh, now we have a good looking exposure. The tricky thing is though, the moon is moving, right? So I have to make sure that these brackets happen as quickly as possible. So I can really get them all in time so that the moon doesn't actually move and screw up the exposure blend later. Well, I'm all set up and ready to go. Now I just need something to happen in the sky because it's still pretty featureless at the moment. So I'm hoping that belt of Venus is going to come out any second, just any second there. Now the belt of Venus shows up opposite the sun. And one thing I like about photographing the moon 1 or 2 days after the actual full moon is that the sun angle and the moon angle actually get offset a little bit. When it's a full moon, they're directly in line. And so the things that you're photographing tend to look fairly flat because they're totally front lit. They don't have a lot of contrast, depth, detail, dimension, shadow things like that going on. But a couple of days later, the sun angle, well, let's see, from your perspective will be the sunrise angle and the moon set angle are offset a little bit, something like that. So there's going to be some more depth dimension, some shadow detail going on here. But the Venus belt, it's going to be opposite the sun. So the sun's coming up over here, the moon's setting right over there. So I should expect to see Venus belt over the highest mountains. Fingers crossed that's what we end up getting here. Well, and it's only 8 minutes now before the sunrise, so there must be some cloud or something out there on the horizon blocking the sun. That's okay, we're gonna shoot a panorama anyway, and then hopefully, by my calculations, the sun itself should be striking the mountains anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes before the time of the sunrise, which is 5:47 this morning. So I'm gonna expect to see actual red light up there any minute, unless there are clouds out there on the horizon, which I just can't see. But hopefully the fact that I've calculated this shot for 7 minutes after the time that the sun's gonna hit the mountains will give us a little bit of extra buffer for that moon to get into place. Oh my God, it's looking so good. It's getting right there. Oh, let me get in on this. This is so cool. Let's shoot a pano. Oh, I can start to see the very first kiss of red light. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There must have been a cloud out there because there wasn't any belt of Venus, but just that first ruby light is starting to show up on the mountain. So I'm gonna shoot another panel going back the other direction. Double check that I'm nice and sharp here. Beautiful, looks great. Okay, let me just double check my foreground here. My sagey sage brush. Oh, it's way out of focus. It's gotten a lot brighter out here, so I can now get away with a 2 bracket burst. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna need a little bit of extra shutter speed because I'm gonna stop down to F11 for a little bit more depth of field. Oh, yes, 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 the light. Beautiful. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go here. Gotcha. Nice. Oh man, look at it come up like that. Yes. Yes, you beauty, you absolute beauty. How are we looking here? Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, look at those details in the moon. Nice. Oh, that is gorgeous, except for those stupid transmission towers. Who put those things there? Who even needs electricity? I mean, come on. Can't we just get along by candlelight like they used to do it back in the days when digital photography was just a dream in the eye of a young boy named Abraham Lincoln. Oh, it's getting so close. It's getting so close. I gotta shoot one more pano and then I'm gonna get in tight on the moon itself, hitting Lone Pine Peak, because that is so friggin' sweet. Beautiful, just fantastic. All right, now let's switch it up because check this out. This is insane. This is so cool. Oh man. Oh man. Check that out. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Let me tell you about, isn't that something? It's absolutely beautiful. Look how fast this thing moves. I mean, you can actually watch it move in here at 600 millimeters. That's just bonkers. The moon's just starting to disappear behind Lone Pine Peak. Okay, I no longer need to bracket. There's plenty of light out here. ISO 125, F11, 50th of a second. Let's go up to F8 and 100th of a second. There we go. That's the alignment I wanted right there. Yes, yes. Nice, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Let's zoom out again, see what else we can get. Oh, I guess we could take a picture of this one a little bit wider. What's cool is going to be able to watch the moon traversing down the side slope of Lone Pine Peak. So it isn't disappearing. It's not disappearing just yet. It's not disappearing just yet. It is going to dance around the mountain until it actually drops below the slope there. Look at that gorgeous red light, that beautiful moon. Oh, it makes the 440 alarm worth it, you know? All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to check out the next video where I take you through the post-processing of this image from this morning. And if you're looking for a place where you can find a bunch of like-minded photographers and join a really wonderful photography community, come check us out at the Nature Photography Collective. Until next time, have fun and happy shooting.